So what's our challenge? The challenge is, like I suspect most people in this room, is that students like science. They love it, but they don't think science is something for them. There's a piece of research done in the UK, Aspires, where they basically questioned a whole bunch of teenagers and found that just under 80% love science, think it's valuable, their parents think it's science. But less than 20% of them think that it's something for them, that science is something that is culturally for them. Now, traditionally, we've tried to rectify this by getting scientists to go out to schools and connecting with students, talking to them. More recently, we've been trying to get beyond those 20% who are already aspiring to be scientists by reaching out to underserved audiences. But a little story from Ireland might sort of outline some of the problems with that. The National Orchestra of Ireland were given some money to take the science of music to schools in Ireland. And they thought, being socially minded people, let's find the most economically deprived school in Ireland and we'll take them the beauty of the science of music. And they made an appointment with the head teacher, sat down in the corridor and looked up. There was a picture of Bono there performing at the school. James Galway, the Coors. Every blooming musician in Ireland had been there before them because it was the most deprived school in Dublin, and because it was in Dublin, it was easily accessible. We researched schools in the UK, and what we found was disturbing, that schools within 15 minutes drive of a university were twice as likely to get visited as one just 30 minutes drive away. There is not an equality of opportunity for all schools. So, what are we going to do about it? We created an online, student-led science outreach program called I'm a Scientist, Get Me Out of Here. Teachers take their class online, and it's the whole class. We're after 100%, not just the 20%. They read about the scientists, they ask them questions, what's important to them, and take part in real-time text-based chats. They also get to vote for the scientists they want to win a £500 prize. These elements are important. It's important that it's online because it gives the same opportunities to kids in the Outer Hebrides as those in inner London. It's important that it's student-led because the students get to ask questions that are personally important to them, not what they think their teacher wants them to ask. And the voting is crucially important because it gives a purpose to the event and makes the scientist actually listen to that a little bit more carefully and value what the students are telling them. Being online also makes it very scalable. This week, the event's operating in 3 countries. Happening in Spain at the moment, there's a live chat on. There are 120 scientists connecting with 8,000 students. There are about 1,000 students today who will be impacted by this program. And what are those impacts? This is Julia Anderson, who's a lecturer at a further education college in Wigan. Wigan's a post-industrial town up near Manchester. I'll just read what she said about the event. She'd taken her students first to a university. We went to a university event, and I wanted students to approach the scientists, but they were too shy. There was none of that in the I'm a Scientist live chat, no fear from students. They were just really comfortable. Many of our students lack confidence in their academic abilities, so they were buzzing when they realized they can hold their own in a conversation with intelligent and educated people. This helped them realize that they are scientists too. From Ireland, an anonymous student told us, I thought scientists looked just like they do in the film Flubber. When I found out they liked Taylor Swift, I realized they were more down to earth and not a mad scientist. And this is Mercy. Mercy is a Bahari high school in Kilifi in Kenya. And she told us after taking part that, I used to think scientist people were only white people. And I used to think that scientist people are only people from the olden days. But I came to know that scientist people can come from any part of the world. We also learnt from the project, excuse me. You need to provide a purpose for people to take part in your event. 500 quid, or euros as it is in Spain, is an enormous amount of money to students. And it really focuses their mind and it gives them a reason for participating, to find out about the scientists, to ask them questions. You need to design your project not just for your audience, but for all participants. Taking part in I'm a Scientist is enormous fun for the scientists and extremely rewarding in terms of what they learn. They talk about it. But the other thing we learn also is that online text-based engagement is not a second-rate cousin, not a second-rate form of engagement. It allows everyone in the class to be equally engaged. From Vietnam here, you see that 90% of the kids will be asking questions, voting, commenting. It not only provides an equality of opportunity between schools, but also within the class. Thank you very much.